Welcome to Healthy Aging. This is a podcast that has been created to discuss 4 pillars of healthy aging that myself and my co-hosts are very passionate about. We've got extensive knowledge on, and we've got great connections with experts in the field of healthy aging and the 4 pillars that we're going to be discussing. So my name is Susie Mollison.
And my name is Lorraine Hart, and the very first pillar that we're going to discuss is healthy aging mindset, which we're both really excited about. And as Susie said, we've got some amazing people coming on to tell us about their expertise in that particular area. And the other 3 pillars that we'll be discussing are healthy aging nutrition, healthy aging fitness, and healthy aging skincare. And we just feel that that is a really holistic look at healthy aging. It kind of covers all the different elements. And when we've got guests on, they will predominantly be speaking about their area of expertise. So when we have our healthy aging mindset people on, they'll be telling us mainly about healthy aging mindset. Or we think, because we don't know, it might cover, we might end up going into some of the other bits. We just don't know. We've not had a conversation yet, but that's in theory, that's how we think it's going to go. So every guest that we invite on, we are going to start with the same question every single week, and I think it would be brilliant if we tested that out today, Susie, just to see how that all goes. But before we do it, could you just tell us a wee bit about your background and why you decided to start the Healthy Aging podcast with me?
Yeah, of course, Lorraine, I would love to. So we're going to get to know each other over the months. You know me, but our listeners don't all know me. So let me start with a little secret. That little secret is I am a 46-year-old. Not so much a secret, I am from Scotland. Hopefully everybody that's listening in can understand the beautiful accent that you and I have. But I absolutely believe that we can influence how we age by the choices that we make today and by the choices that we've made in the past. So how we think, what we put into our body, how our body moves, all of these different things absolutely do influence how we age. So I've done some research on epigenetics, and for people that don't know what epigenetics is, it's basically the study of how your behaviours and how your environment can cause changes that affect the way that your genes work. So you can't change your genes, but you can influence how they express. And by being able to influence how they express means that you can control how you age to a certain degree. So again, a lot of that will be covered as we're moving forward. Now, when you're passionate about something, quite often the reason you're passionate about something is because you have a story related to that. It could be something that's happened in your past that has made you want to do something or not want to do something. And so I am going to start with a story, which for people that do know me, they know that I love a story. So when I was, I think I was about 15-year-old, my mum took unwell, and she took badly unwell. And we went from a family of 4 healthy, happy, fun individuals in a home to all of a sudden 2 individuals, because my mum and dad separated, my brother left the house, and so it was just me and my mum that were left in the house, and mum took severely unwell. So honestly, I just felt lonely. And I haven't really shared this story with people. And if mum and dad are tuning in, they're going to hear this story. And it's not to have them feel, upset or bad, because I believe everything that happens in life totally shapes and determines how we or who we become. So I'm very grateful for all of my past experiences. But yeah, I felt very lonely at that time, and mum was very unwell. I remember at the age of 16, in fact, I just turned 17, I had a job, and I used to leave, it was winter time, I used to leave the house when it was pitch black, but it was pitch black inside as well, because mum was in bed unwell. I would come back from work, it was pitch black, outside and inside. But inside my heart, it was pitch black as well. So there was nothing that inspired me, that I was happy about being here for, because I felt so alone. And I remember thinking, there has to, surely this is not how life is meant to be. And so I actually left home and joined the British Army. Now, looking back on that time, it's like, how selfish was I leaving my unwell mother? But I couldn't cope. And I was 17. And I think at that age, we are a little bit selfish. You know, we don't think of others, or certainly I never did. And so it had a huge influence on my life, in the fact that I never, ever, ever wanted to live a life like how my mum was living hers. Now, that wasn't her choice. You know, she had become very unwell. And again, through our different series, we will talk about how I believe that emotional things, emotional trauma, can affect us physically. And my mum had a very, very challenging life, shall we say. So all these challenges that happened to mum younger, like early days in life, definitely had an impact on her physical health. Now, she's 72-year-old now, 72 years young, I have to say, and she generally keeps well most of the time. She does still have some health challenges, but most of the time she keeps well. But here's what's so inspiring about her. When she started to get a little bit better, the medical profession were not very sure what to do with her. She had ME. Now, nowadays, ME it's a well-known illness, or it's fairly well known. But in those days, it wasn't well known at all, and they had no idea what to do with her. So what they did do was they put her on antidepressants. And she knew that there had to be more out there that could help her. So she went and she looked for help, and she found a clinical aromatherapist. This clinical aromatherapist started to work with her. So introduced her to essential oils, introduced her to massage, other complementary therapists. She also introduced her into affirmations, mindset, meditation, all these holistic ways of how mum could heal her body. And she absolutely did start to heal her body. She became so passionate about the clinical aromatherapy that she decided that she was going to learn how to become a clinical aromatherapist. And she went back to studying for 18 months to become a clinical aromatherapist, but she was really unwell still. So I done the course with her so that I could be that support for her, so I could help her. And then what happened at the end of it, I loved it so much that I decided to make this a career. So I then trained to be a reflexologist, and then went on to become a massage therapist, a deep tissue massage therapist. So I worked a lot with injuries and chronic pain. And again, I started watching my clients come in because I was very curious in the fact of how people looked at living, and how they looked at how they were living their life, and how they were looking at preventative, etc. And I always remember two ladies came in one day back to back. They were both in their 70s. One came in, she had her hair done, she had her makeup on, she was looking really, really sexy, she was full of fun. She was talking to me about her boyfriend. She was going out dancing that night with her boyfriend. She was definitely 70 years young. She was amazing, an absolutely amazing woman. And she came to see me for prevention. She actually had nothing wrong with her. She just wanted to make sure that her body continued to function as it always had. And she'd always had this attitude and outlook and mindset in life. At the back of her, another 70-year-old came in, complete opposite. She was very negative. She was overweight. She was dressed not well. She had nothing nice to say, and her body was aching from top to toe. She was unhappy. She had a lot of emotional stress going on, and she was 70 years old. So we had one that was 70 years young and one that was 70 years old. And again, it hit me like really like, oh my gosh, which one do you want to be, Susie? And I made that decision then. I was going to be the 95-year-old female that was up the Alps skiing, and I would do whatever it took to make sure I was that person. So I've always been very, very passionate since that day of ensuring that I age well, you know. So I'm sorry that I've went into so much information there, Lorraine, but as you know, I do love to talk. And so I wanted to share my knowledge of this subject with lots of people, because I have actively worked on healthy aging for many, many years. I've researched it. And I have met so many people with much more knowledge than I have on this subject. And I know that these people will be delighted to come on and share, and that we can absolutely make a difference to people who are interested in this subject.
Wow. So I thought I knew you really well, but I definitely have never heard that story before, or what it was that took you into the army. Of course, I knew you had, that was how you started your working life, but I never knew that that was the reasons that that was kind of why you had joined. Wow, 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 wow! Didn't expect that.
there were some other reasons as well, Lorraine, but that was one of the main reasons.
Yeah, well, listen, I'm sure we will talk more and more about that as the weeks go on, and as we delve into some of these subjects. But the question that we're going to ask everyone when they come on, and I'm really excited to hear your answer to this, are what would be your top 3 tips for a healthy aging mindset?
Okay, so tip number 1 is always be full of gratitude. No matter what's going on in your life, there's always good to be found, you know, so start every day, every single day with gratitude. So when I open my eyes, there's 2 things I'm always grateful for. The first thing is that I've been given another day. So I always say, thank you for giving me another day. The second thing is I'm grateful for the fact that I have incredible physical and mental health. So I say thank you for that, you know, every day. Thank you for giving me great physical and mental health. So that's the first one, gratitude. The second one would be become excited for the wisdom. So we all know older people who, or maturer people who are full of wisdom. They've got so much wisdom to share. And I always think, wouldn't it be amazing if you were young with all that wisdom? And I've got a really good friend, Sophie, who I'm sure we'll get Sophie on the podcast. And I always remember her saying one day to me, oh my gosh, I'm so excited about getting old, Susie. Can you imagine all the things we're going to know when we're old? And I'm like, I have never, ever heard anybody get so excited about getting old, but she cannot wait to get old because of all the wisdom that she'll have. So I think that's a really good one, is just become excited for the wisdom. And then the third one, and I actually seen this, I wouldn't have known how to explain it, but I seen it on somebody's Instagram, which is don't worry about getting old, worry about thinking old. Now, the lady that posted that is a lady called Nikki Garforth, who is a fitness and wellbeing expert. She helps ladies over 50 to feel better. And like I say, I just found her on Instagram. But we control our thoughts. No one else controls our thoughts. We control them. So I believe that mindset is one of the most powerful things that we have. And whatever our input is an absolute reflection of our output. So what you feed yourself mentally will absolutely start to create physically. So if you're concerned about getting old, or you're constantly telling yourself you're old, you know, any of these types of things, that's what's going to happen. So you have to make sure that you're always putting positivity into the mind, especially when it comes to aging. So over to you, Lorraine. I am now going to ask you the same thing. So I would like to start with you sharing with everybody a little bit of your background and why you decided to start the Healthy Aging podcast with me.
Okay, so you've got me thinking a wee bit, actually, thinking on my feet here about kind of when you talk about my background. So I went to university, I got a job in banking when I left. And yeah, I think it was just, I had that mindset of that was kind of the way of success. You know, you got a good job, a job that was going to be for life, all of those types of things. And that's exactly what I did. I'd always been like a kind of rule follower in my life. So that was kind of the natural thing. And then in 2006, my world was turned upside down when my dad was killed in a car crash. So obviously, out of the blue, unexpected, you know, if you ever needed a reason to live your life to the fullest and all of those types of things, then, you know, I had that lesson, unfortunately, in that way in 2006. And it just made me totally reflect on my life and what I was doing with it. It became quite apparent that in my job, you were a number, you were just a cog in a big wheel. You didn't, you know, you weren't making an impact, you weren't having an effect on day-to-day life, maybe slightly, but not in the way that I wanted to. So I left that job that I was in, and I went to work for a road safety charity, which was obviously, it was a cause that was really, really important to me, and something that, you know, it was a way of giving back, and it was something tangible that you could see that you were making a difference in people's lives, or, you know, you were coming across people at the worst time in their life ever, and you were using the knowledge that you had, which you would never have chosen to have, but you had it. So you were using it in a positive way, and yeah, so that just filled me with, you know, a lot of things that I had never really experienced before. Then I did that job for a while. I worked from home. I got married. I had my first son, which was just absolutely amazing. And of course, another point in a woman's life that just makes you reflect on everything and just look at everything. And I was working from home. I had a young son, so I was spending a lot of time at home. And eventually it got to a point where I just thought, you know, I need adult company, I need something a bit more. So I went on and I started working for a small business, and I actually had so much passion for working in a small business. It was the first time that I had ever done that, and it was, again, the same thing, the tangible, you are making a difference. You know, maybe not in the same way as the charity, but you could see where you were going into work every day and you were leaving knowing what you'd done and how that was, you know, how that was kind of having an effect. So then for the next 10 years, over 10 years, I worked in small businesses. I absolutely loved it, but I was that person that was trying to do it all. So I had, by this point, 2 young kids, and I was leaving the house at 7 in the morning. I was getting back sometimes at, you know, 6, 6:30 at night, just in time to do the bath, if I was lucky. I just wasn't getting to spend time with my children. You know, we were really comfortable financially, like everything on the outside, probably it was just like, it looked like it was, you know, the not a perfect life, but you know what I mean? It was like just very, very similar to how a lot of people choose to live, which is absolutely fine. And, you know, I'm sure for people, it's, you know, it's what they want to do, and it brings a lot of stability and different things. So, you know, it's no judgment. But for me, very quickly after having my second son, I just realised that actually, you know, I need something different. I need to be doing something different. This just isn't working for me anymore. And probably for the first time, that was where I really felt this kind of, I was unaligned. So I was living a certain way, but internally that just isn't how I wanted to live any longer. So it became a battle, and probably, you know, the effects of that battle over the years are showing up on me now, I feel. So it's kind of, you know, in how I look. So I've put weight on. I've been living with stress in my life, which I never used to really it was different stress. So I think I probably did have a lot of stress when I was living the other way as well, but it was maybe I wasn't aware of it. Like, I think a lot of us get into that thing where you're just like, you get up in the morning, you do what you need to do. Like, yeah, it's busy, yeah, your things are crazy, but you just do it because it just feels like that's what you need to do. So I have been aware of stress, and yeah, I just, again, you know, kind of from research that I've done, from personal development that I've done, from opening my mind to other ways and other things, like I've just kind of educated myself on the damage that can do, you know. So I think I'm at a point now where, you know, I am all about creating a really, really flexible life for myself. That's what's important to me. I want to be an amazing mum. I want to be doing the school runs. I want to be able to do all those things. But I'm hugely passionate about business. I'm hugely passionate about working. You know, I want to be able to take care of myself. All of those things that, you know, I care about the things that I want as well now. So yeah, so that's kind of what has piqued my interest in healthy aging. Now, I'm at a really different point from you because I'm a beginner, I'm a novice. You know, everything that I know is things that I've read in books, things that I've learned from you, things that I've learned from other people. So yeah, I'm not an expert by any manner of means. I'm here to learn along the journey with everyone else, but I'm super, super excited about it.
Love it, absolutely love it. And so one of the things you're going to laugh at this, because I mentioned what was my top 3 tips, and one of them, well, actually, I'm going to share this more at the end, but our language is very important. And something that you said is that you want to be an amazing mum. You are an amazing mum. Like, I see that every single day, how you are with the boys. You are an amazing mum. So I just had to say that to you. And the other thing as well is I didn't mention the fact that I really wanted to do this podcast with you, Lorraine, because of your knowledge. You know, yes, you're saying you're a novice to it, but not on a research point of view, you're not. Like, you have done so much around the research of healthy aging, and you talk constantly about Dr. Chatterjee. He is one of your all-time favourites. You're constantly referring to him, so anytime we talk about it, you're like, oh, wait to tell you what Dr. Chatterjee says. And I love the knowledge that you share when it comes to that man and everything that he's sharing, because it's just incredible. And that's all we're doing, is we're just passing on knowledge, we're sharing stories, we're sharing experiences, and hoping that it will really, really, really help people and make a difference. So thank you so much for sharing all that with us. So same question to you that all our guests are going to get asked. What are your 3 top tips for a healthy aging mindset?
So it feels funny being asked for my top tips when I feel like I'm a novice in the subject. However, what I would love to share is things that I feel help me. So, you know, things that, you know, that I just feel help me, help my mindset in general, and, you know, just with healthy aging. So the first one would be find things that make you happy and do more of them. Because when you feel happy, like, you know, nothing else, you're not thinking about other things, you're not worrying about other things, nothing else matters, you're just like in the moment and being present. So I would say, yeah, whatever that is for you, do more of that. Be more childlike. My son got a trampoline for his 5th birthday, and if anybody does follow me on social media, you will know that me and Oscar are like we besties. Whatever I do, he does. Whatever he does, I do. So of course, I have spent much of the summer holidays in that trampoline with him, and sometimes I find myself bouncing on the trampoline when he's not even there, because it's bloody great fun. And I was out bouncing on the trampoline one day, and I came in and the boys are all just sitting, my husband and 2 kids are just standing watching me. I came in and said, I'm living my best life out there, and they just burst out laughing, because that's exactly what David had just said to them. Come and look at your mother living her best life bouncing on this trampoline. So yeah, so be more childlike, just, you know, don't care about things and just go for it. And my last thing would be invest in yourself. So take the class, do the seminar, buy the book and take the time to read it. Take 30 minutes for yourself to listen to a podcast, whatever one that may be that you like. But yeah, just invest in yourself in some way, because it's so important.
Fantastic. Absolutely brilliant tips there, Lorraine. Definitely be more like childlike. We all need to adopt that one without a doubt. And maybe actually our listeners could reach out to us and let us know what they're going to do to be more childlike. And that just gives me the opportunity to just say, you know, we are on Instagram. You can find us on Healthy Aging Podcast. We have a Facebook group, which is called Healthy Aging, and we have our own YouTube channel called the Healthy Aging Podcast. So you will be able to find us. And then, of course, you can listen to our podcast through all the different channels that we have. So go and look for us and share with us your childlike activities. I'm going to have to think of something to do over the next week, Lorraine, so that I can share it next week. That's interesting. Love it. So do you want me to just talk about what to expect moving forward then?
Yeah, that'd be brilliant. Yeah, let's just have a wee chat about that.
Okay, so the idea with this is that Lorraine and I will do 4 series. Series 1 is what we're on just now, which is Healthy Aging Mindset. And then we have series 2, which will start in like 5 weeks' time. So each series is going to consist of 6 weeks. And then it's going to be healthy aging nutrition. Then we're going to go into healthy aging fitness, and then healthy aging skincare. So that's how the podcasts are going to look. Now, obviously, there will be a mixture of everything within each series. However, that will be the main focus in that series. So obviously we're in series 1, week number 1. And yeah, it's just going to be so much fun continuing to do these. Lorraine, it's been so much fun doing the first podcast with you and finding out more about each other. And then next week, of course, we're going to have our very, very first guest speaker. So we are predominantly going to have guest speakers. That's going to be the main thing that we're going to do, because we know so many people that have got such great knowledge and wealth to share. And then we can share some of our input as we're interviewing these guests. So next week, our very first guest speaker is an absolute incredible lady. Like when I grow up, I want to be just like her. She's just amazing. Her name is Kathy Quinlan Perez. I am not going to tell you much about her, because I want you just to come on next week and listen to this woman and the difference that she has made to literally millions of people around the world, all to do with mindset. And I am someone who has invested hugely in mindset. Kathy is the training director of a company called PSI Seminars. I have taken all their classes and it's completely transformed my life. And I just cannot wait for her to share. I mean, she's just amazing. Anyway, Lorraine, anything else that you would like to share before we close out today?
So I actually just have one last wee question for you, Susie, if that's okay.
Okay, of course.
So what is one tip that you could leave our listeners with that they could go and implement in their lives right now that would help them to achieve a healthy aging mindset?
Okay, so I'm going to cheat a little bit, and I'm going to give you 2. And I've actually already given you them, but they're easy ones to implement. So the first one is do your gratitudes every day. Well, it's huge how that will change things for you. The second one is listen to your language. So just like what I was saying to you earlier. And if you listen to your language and you hear how you're speaking to yourself, change it if it's negative. I am not allowed to use the word old around my 72-year young mother. It's banned in the house. Every time I go to visit her, I am not allowed to use that word. So yeah, that would be my top tips, my top 2 tips. What about you, Lorraine? What would be yours? Same question to you.
Well, I think I have to say go and bounce on a trampoline. That has to be my tip. I did actually also have gratitude. That was one of my things as well, just because that, again, it's something that's just really, really helped me. So yep, just I think that's good. We're in balance there with where our thoughts are at, which is good. So everyone, that is us. We've come to the end of the first ever Healthy Aging podcast. So go and have a happy, healthy week, and we will see you here next week. And please remember, as Susie said, go and follow us in all the places: Instagram, Healthy Aging Podcast, Facebook, Healthy Aging, and also follow our YouTube channel, which is Healthy Aging Podcast. Thank you so much.
Have a great week, everybody. Enjoy your trampolines.